Hey guys, this is Herbie from the ITC Crab Company community. This is the first of 3 videos I'm going to be making about kind of some basic concepts for mission leadership in ArmA. And what I'm doing is I'm taking real life concepts and kind of saying how these can be applied specifically for ArmA. So there should hopefully be nothing in this which isn't applicable in ArmA. So the 3 videos I'll be doing is this one is mission command. The second video will be planning a mission, and the third one will be decision making. So decision making while you're in a mission. So hopefully these videos will be informative for kind of everyone, no matter what style or level of ArmA you play at, whether you're a completely serious milsim unit through to a more casual unit, anywhere where there's a chain of command and a set individual who is in command of the mission and will have to plan and all that good stuff. What I'm going to be going over today is mission command. Now, mission command is a really big topic that's used kind of all over the world. There's lots of different field manuals that say lots of different things about it. I'm not here to try and explain it all in full. All I'm going to do is run through the kind of basics of mission command and the principles. I'm also not here to kind of advocate one field manual over any others. So what I've done is I've taken all the kind of concepts together and come out with a few principles that can be best applied in ArmA. So this quick lecture should hopefully be about 15 minutes long. We'll go on to 3 sections. The first section is what is mission command, talking about what that concept actually is and what it means. The second, the principles of mission command, so the easiest way of kind of implementing mission command and using it. And the third is using mission command in ArmA, where I'll go through a couple of scenarios that demonstrate each of the principles. So firstly, what is mission command? Mission command is a system or command philosophy, as some people call it, that empowers your subordinates to make their own decisions and use their initiative. And it does this by giving them required outcomes and effects and not specific tasks. The kind of mantra is tell them what you need them to do, not how you need them to do it. It's originally a German idea. It kind of stems from the teachings of Clausewitz and the kind of German general staff. And was taken on board by most Western armies during the First World War. It was really proved for particularly the British and the French that the system worked. So to kind of boil it down to a basic idea, the difference between mission command and direct command. Direct command would be if you've got 2 squads and you're attacking a town, telling them each to use, have one fire team here, they're covering the other fire team, go into this building and clear it, and then kind of really micromanaging. Whereas mission command, all you would say is, right, your squad, you're going to give supporting fire, and you're going to stop the enemy from, you're going to fix the enemy in this town. Other squad, you're going to clear these buildings. And then exactly how the squad leader does that, exactly how the squad leader goes through those buildings and clears them, is entirely up to them. So the first so moving on to the principles of command. The first principle is freedom of action. So freedom of action is basically the not micromanaging. It's allowing your squad leaders to use their initiative and use their own kind of brains and their own nonce to complete the tasks, or rather to deliver the outcomes and effects that you've asked them to deliver, and giving them the freedom to do that, not interfering. So there is a temptation when you're commanding a mission to kind of run over to squad leaders when things aren't quite going how you saw them going and tell them, right, do this, do that. Try and avoid that as much as possible. You should only really be intervening if it's damaging the mission. So if your squad's not being quite as quick as you'd like them to be, you could tell them, tell them that. But don't tell them how to stop being quick unless it's absolutely required to get them out of that situation. The second principle is trust and mutual support. So, kind of similar to the first one, but you've got to trust your squad leaders and you've got to make sure your elements are mutually supporting one another and are mutually supporting your intent. Without trust, it's really hard to do mission command. Even if you don't know your squad leaders, if you place your trust in them, generally they won't let you down just because you've put your trust in them. The third principle of mission command that we're going to go through today is making your intent clear. So every one of your squad leaders should know exactly what you are trying to achieve overall in the mission and exactly how their part of the mission contributes to what you're trying to achieve. So if you've told a squad to clear some buildings, because there's a weapons cache in there or whatever, so that you can have the EOD come in and destroy it, rather than just telling the squad, right, clear those buildings, tell them, clear those buildings so that we can get the secure weapons cache, get the engineers in to destroy it. What that does is it means that squad leader can tailor how he completes his mission to your needs. He now knows you're looking for a weapons cache, so rather than sweeping through the buildings kind of really quickly, he might take his time and search the buildings a bit more thoroughly. The final principle is setting clear boundaries and control measures. So although mission command is about giving your subordinates the opportunity to use their initiative, you do need to kind of set boundaries, set clear control measures so that they don't go wildly off task and off piste. So say where they can operate in, so if they're clearing an area of buildings, where do they clear to, what's their limit of advance? If they're in a support by fire position, whereabouts can they re-maneuver to reposition to get a better firing position? And setting clear control measures. So a really good way of doing this is by phase lines. So kind of clear up to this phase line, or if you're in, say, a delaying action, fall back to this phase line, so that they know, so that you've still got control over your platoon, but you're not micromanaging the squads. So this is you, the mission commander. You're in charge of 2 teams of 4 assaulting an enemy held tree line. The first of your squads is over to your right and is providing suppressing fire, while the second of your squads is assaulting on your left to close with and kill the enemy using the supporting fire as cover. Now as your assaulting team gets closer to the enemy, the angle between them and your supporting fire is getting quite narrow, and the chances of a blue on blue incident where your supporting fire accidentally hits your assaulting element is becoming more likely. Using mission command, your supporting fire team or your supporting team should know they have the freedom of action to start moving themselves and repositioning their squad further to the right in order to avoid that, without having to ask for you for permission or asking or awaiting your orders to do that. You shouldn't need to tell them to do it. They should know that they're able to move to it. Okay, so here you are again, the mission commander. In this scenario, you've got 2 squads. One of them is providing a blocking force over to one side, while the other squad are stacking up and waiting to breach into a building. When your blocking force takes contact with the enemy. And this is now about trust and mutual support. You don't have to run over to that squad and see what's going on. You can trust that squad leader to deal with the contact and to deal with what's going on. And you can trust him to, or her, to implement what you've asked them to implement, what you've asked them to achieve, without having to stop your other squad from breaching the building. Obviously, you're going to want to know what's happening. You've got to get sit reps and things like that, and you've got to have a passage of information. But at this point, you don't have to do anything, because you have trust in your squad leader that they're going to achieve the outcome you've asked them to achieve. This is also an example of mutual support. So this squad are conducting this action so that your other squad can breach and clear the building in safety. And so all your elements got to be working together essentially as one team, and it also means that squad leader is going to be more forthright in achieving his outcome if he knows it's kind of benefiting the other squad. Okay, so this scenario is now about making your intent clear. Again, you've got 2 squads, this time in a defensive action. One of your squads is defending this little scrub line, while the other one of your squads is occupying a building, securing a different arc of fire. Now it's really important in all situations to make sure both squad leaders know what your intent is. So for example, if your first squad in the shrub line doesn't know that the second squad is going to be defending their right flank, then they might be assigning one of their riflemen to watch that flank, and they don't need to. And in this case, wasting a quarter of their firepower. Or they might even assign an entire fire team to defend that flank, which would be, using up half their fighting power to protect a flank that's already protected by the other squad. So they need to know how they're contributing to the wider battle, so that they can make effective decisions in how to achieve the outcomes you've set. And likewise, the other squad need to know that they don't need to worry too much about their left flank. And as long as you've got a good passage of information, good communications between yourself and the two squads, they genuinely don't need to check their flanks because they are protected. And what your role is if for whatever reason one of your squads can't protect the flank, is making sure all your squad leaders know that, and that your plan changes accordingly. Okay, so this scenario is about setting clear boundaries and control measures. In it, you've got two squads again, and you're conducting an operation to rescue a friendly wounded soldier. One of your squads here is providing supporting fire, while the other squad is advancing forward across a road to secure and extract the friendly wounded. Now, in this scenario, the commander set two control measures and boundaries. So, one of the control measures is that the supporting fire team aren't to fire to the right hand side of the road going away from us in the centre of the screen. And the second control measure is that the advancing squad isn't to go to the left hand side of that road. That way the commander's avoiding friendly fire and also staying in control of his two squads, that he knows exactly what they're doing, and more crucially the squad leaders know what they're doing and what they can't do. So that squad leader on the right, for example, might start taking fire from further up the road, or might start taking fire from closer, and wants to push his guys forward to the buildings. Now, if you haven't set that boundary, the control measures that are really clear, that squad leader might not be confident enough to just go and do it, and might, wait, hesitate, try and ask you for permission to do it, which could lead to him taking severe casualties. By setting clear boundaries and control measures, you're giving your squad leaders the confidence they need to use the freedom of action that they require to complete the outcomes you've given them. Okay, so that about wraps it up for this talk on Mission Command. Been through what is Mission Command. It's a system of command that empowers subordinates to make their own decisions and use their initiative. And it's about giving required outcomes and effects, not specific tasks, so that telling them what to achieve, not how to achieve it. Been through the 4 principles of command: the freedom of action, trust and mutual support, making your intents clear, and setting clear boundaries and control measures. And we've been through scenarios where we've kind of shown that in action and shown how that kind of applies when you're actually playing the game. I hope you found it useful.